Press, who's here to talk about a great event that we always get excited about called the Little Giant Beer Summit. Now, you brought nothing but giant beers in with you this morning, but tell us about this event and what it's all about.
The Little Giant Beer Summit is a homage, a celebration of all Iowa beer. We'll have 30 Iowa breweries there this weekend, 75 different beers on draft. So there's just abundance of different things. The beer is just getting more and more amazing.
I was going to say, since you've had this, this isn't the first time you've had this
This
event.
is a third annual.
Third annual. Have you? And so much more attention is coming to local brews. Have you seen a growth in just the 3 years that we've been doing?
Well, they just did a study that said, or they did the numbers, and Des Moines is the 6th fastest brewing community in the nation.
Really?
It is on fire here. And I mean, I head down to Confluence quite a bit. I head over to El Bait, of course, as well. But some of the best beer I've had is made in Iowa. This is not hobby. This is up to the real high-end beer making world.
Well, it couldn't be any fresher either. You know, we're a couple blocks, a half mile from Confluence and Exile, so you know that's some of their stuff is amazing. You know, we just a couple of breweries just won awards here in the state. Peachtree won World Beer Cup, which is a worldwide competition for their Blonde Fatale.
Wow!
They won gold. Lionbridge won for their English Mild. They won gold.
Lionbridge makes a great beer.
Millstream is one of the oldest craft breweries in the nation, 1986, 85, 86. They've been around. A lot of breweries that were around then aren't around anymore. They're one of the. They're in the first 100.
Is
maybe
Millstream the one that makes the Iowa Pale Ale?
Yes.
Yeah. That's delicious. I bought some of that last week.
Yep, and they do a really good. We have their. We're gonna have a pumpkin stout from them, Imperial Pumpkin Stout. Pretty excited. There's a good. A few times we've had a lot of Oktoberfest and different things in this event. This one we're not going to have so much because there's barrel age and other things.
This is my favorite. I'm not a huge beer drinker, but this is my favorite time of year for beer for the Oktoberfest.
Well, the next week we're going to roll out Oktoberfest, pumpkins, seasonals, all that stuff. And then, of course, we have our Oktoberfest down at the Hessen House next week.
Right.
Which is a great time. Went last year. I signed up for the Polka Club. I polka'd. I drank half of a boot, a third of a boot. Oh my goodness!
Well,
so much fun.
And in the spirit of what we're doing too, you know, Fire Truckers having their Fire Trucktoberfest from noon to 6 on Saturday, and Confluence is noon to 5 are having their Oktoberfest.
Oh, jeez.
Did you just say Fire Trucktoberfest?
That's what they call it.
Boy, marketing in this town, I love it. Fire Trucktoberfest.
But they're having theirs at the same time, so you kind of pick and choose, or maybe find a friend that takes you down. But it's all that's the collaborative effort of.
What are you saying there, Jeff?
Well, I actually thought about this.
Man, after taking one of these bad boys down, you shouldn't be walking.
I thought about this morning. You know, anyone who says, "Well, I don't really like beer," you just point at them and say, "No, you're my designated driver."
All right.
So you asked 10 people.
But a real quick one on these. This is just Cage and Cork, brand new from Confluence. Really kind of beautiful. 818 design. The 3 ladies that work there do excellent work. It's a beautiful. This is the double. They have a triple and a quad that in this set. You'll see them in Hy-Vees or at the bait shop. We're going to have each of them this weekend.
Love it.
Fire Trucker, this is a little growler, mini growler. This is their steam beer, which is really neat. And this is one of the kind of to-go glass containers, refillable. I filled that last night. And then this is the new guy.
Tell people how this works. This is really cool.
This is called the Crowler. It's a can growler, and we have a machine that steams the top to the base, and we fill it up just like a cup of beer, a big cup of beer. And we seam it, and you walk out of there with a can of beer.
You do this on site?
We do it on site.
So if I'm at El Bait Shop, I want a crowler, I'm going to watch somebody do it.
Yeah, we fill it up. This is actually Boone Valley Roxy Red, which has been a very popular one from Boone. John up in Boone makes that beer. Been doing really well for us. And yeah, we can fill these cans, take them with you.
But you can get any brew that you want from one of your taps.
Some of them aren't. Some of these we don't allow out because there's such a small amount of beer we got. We only allow it in the building. But a lot of them, yeah, you can walk out with it. And a guy the other day, one of the first ones we ever canned, popped the cap, popped the top. It's just like a regular top. It even has the Iowa Recycle 5-cent. They opened it up and they said it's fresh and carbonated just as the day you had it, you know, a month and a half ago. So it's a really good way to transport beer. You know, get you into where you're fishing or golfing or biking or anything. It's a great way.
I've never seen this before. Are you guys the only one in town doing this?
We're the only one in town that's doing it right now. There's a place called 30 Hop in Iowa City. Those guys do great things with beer. They have a crowler. You'll see more of them. There's different formats coming out all the time, but a lot of people want to transport their deal. And it's going to be a good thing because we're doing the called the Iowa Tap Room. It's going to have 150 Iowa beers. The Little Giant was a test thing for it this weekend, Saturday the 19th, from 3 to 7 down at Albait. Free to get in. 5-ounce pours, $2.50 if you buy a ticket. If you buy a glass, we have a commemorative glass. You get a free ticket with your glass, $7.50. If you buy 10 tickets, it's $2 a ticket. So we get a lot of people buying.
Now this Iowa Tap Room, I've heard about this. It's going to be a new place, only Iowa beers.
Only Iowa beers, dedicated to all Iowa, everything Iowa, even the furniture, even the architectural antiques are going to be pulled. We have an 1880s bar that we pulled from, I think, Adel. Working with Weston Salvage, Don Short's one of our partners there. It's going to be a really great thing. Yeah, but 150, but a lot of the Iowa breweries right now don't have packaging. These guys are doing growlers at the store, and then they have these. Boone Valley and Fire Truck are not quite yet. I think they're working on canning. I'm not sure about what John's doing. So you're going to come down there, and I have 2 more of these machines, and we'll have them there for the opportunity to fill up beer from all across the state without having to travel one spot. Nearly at the foot of the state capitol.
Jason wants to know if he can be a bartender.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Although your people are experts because they know every.
They really do.
They know every single beer.
Every time I go in there, I say, I'm thinking about something like this, and they're like, do you want this, this, or this? It's amazing. Every single bartender at your guys' company is educated, knows what they're talking about. It's great.
Well, it's a passion. People love to work there. We try to set up a nice place to work, and it stays really busy. It's been busy all week, busy on Monday, Tuesday. We pack them in, and
I think it's the greatest bar in the country because how many taps are there?
It's 182.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Yeah.
And
it's the most American craft on draft in the world, the known world. There's places that have more draft handles, but they're not dedicated solely to craft, American craft.
And here's the thing, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just yesterday, I read that they're actually considering allowing Miller Coors and Budweiser to merge into one company.
I don't think that's even a consideration. I think it'll happen. It's an inevitable conclusion.
Yeah.
And
now that won't affect really the American market, they say, but it will. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just closed the Miller plant out in North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah. They just don't. Their sales slip every year.
Because people want more.
I'm not encouraging or not saying it. It's just the best thing. The way to put it is, in the 1950s, Schlitz was the best-selling beer in America.
Yeah.
How many times do you see Schlitz out in the market?
Right.
When is the tap room coming?
Late this year. The way I say it is March 1. We have to pay full rent. So if we're, and in your world, we're going to be trying to open. We're hoping to be open earlier than later, so we can kind of we feel like we'd be a good backdrop for some of the folks who are coming to town that want.
Oh,
absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
but before that happens, we have the Little Giant Beer Summit happening this weekend. Give us all the details once again.
It's this Saturday from 3 to 7. It's $2.50 ticket, 5-ounce pours, $10, or 10 tickets get you 20, so they're $2 then, and $7.50 commemorative glass. We got it really neat with this guy. This is Chris Vance's original artwork on the glass. And it's just basically like going to the bar, except for you're only drinking 5 ounces at a time.
Look, it's a great time. I was there last year, and if you're curious about Iowa beer, by the way, you've already should have drank some, but if you want to know a lot real quick, I had many of the brands you're talking about last year. It's a great time. It's a great time.
And also, one last thing, I encourage the breweries, owners, brewers, and brewery workers to come. I give them some free beer and some glasses. And all they can do is mingle. They're not allowed to touch your beer because that's just state law. But it's a nice thing because normally they're asked to do a lot of the work and be behind the table. So you get to meet the brewers and stuff and have a beer with them. It's also really cool.
I met a bunch last year.
Fantastic. A great event happening, folks. Make sure you check it out this Saturday over at Albait Shop. We'll be right back.